Exodus 22. Laws about keeping property safe. Suppose a man steals an ox or a sheep, and suppose he kills it or sells it, then he must pay back 5 head of cattle for the ox, or he must pay back 4 sheep or goats for the sheep. Suppose you catch a thief breaking into your house, and suppose you hit the thief and kill him, then you are not guilty of murder. But suppose it happens after the sun has come up, then you are guilty of murder. A thief must pay for what he has stolen, but suppose he does not have anything, then he must be sold to pay for what he has stolen. What if the stolen ox, donkey, or sheep is found alive with him? Then the thief must pay back twice as much as he stole. Suppose a man lets his livestock eat grass in someone else's field or vineyard. Then he must pay that person back from the best crops of his own field or vineyard. Suppose a fire breaks out and spreads into bushes. It burns grain that has been cut and stacked, or it burns grain that is still growing, or it burns the whole field. Then the one who started the fire must pay for the loss. Suppose a man gives his neighbor a silver or other things to keep safe, and suppose they are stolen from the neighbor's house. If the thief is caught, he must pay back twice as much as he stole. But suppose the thief is not found, then the neighbor must go to the judges. They will decide whether the neighbor has stolen the other person's property. Suppose you have an ox, donkey, sheep, or clothing that does not belong to you, or you have other property that was lost by someone else, and suppose someone says, "That belongs to me." Then both people must bring their case to the judges. The one the judge decides is guilty must pay back twice as much as the other person. Suppose a man asks his neighbor to take care of a donkey, ox, sheep, or any other animal, and suppose the animal dies or gets hurt, or suppose it is stolen while no one is looking. Then the problem will be settled by taking an oath and promising the Lord to tell the truth. Suppose the neighbor takes an oath and says, "I didn't steal your property." Then the owner must accept what the neighbor says. No payment is required. But suppose the animal really was stolen, then the neighbor must pay the owner back. Or suppose it was torn to pieces by wild animals. Then the neighbor must bring in what is left as proof. No payment is required. Suppose a man borrows an animal from his neighbor, and it gets hurt or dies while the owner is not there. Then the man must pay for it. But suppose the owner is with the animal, then that man will not have to pay. If he hired the animal, the money he paid to hire it covers the loss. Laws about social problems. Suppose a man meets a virgin who is not engaged, and he talks her into having sex with him. Then he must pay her father the price for a bride, and he must get married to her. But suppose her father absolutely refuses to give her to him, then he must still pay the price for getting married to a virgin. Do not let a woman who does evil magic stay alive. Put her to death. Anyone who has sex with an animal must be put to death. Anyone who sacrifices to any god other than me must be destroyed. Do not treat outsiders badly. Do not beat them down. Remember, you were outsiders in Egypt. Do not take advantage of widows. Do not take advantage of children whose fathers have died. If you do, they might cry out to me. Then I will certainly hear them, and I will get angry. I will kill you with a sword. Your wives will become widows. Your children's fathers will die. Suppose you lend money to one of my people among you who is in need. Then do not be like those who lend money and charge interest. Do not charge any interest. Suppose your neighbor owes you money and gives you a coat as a promise to pay it back. Then return it to him by sunset. That coat is the only thing he owns to wear or sleep in. When he cries out to me, I will listen because I am loving and kind. Do not speak evil things against me. Do not call down a curse on the ruler of your people. Do not hold back your grain offerings or wine offerings. You must give me the oldest of your sons. Do the same with your cattle and sheep. Let them stay with their mothers for 7 days, but give them to me on the 8th day. I want you to be my holy people. So do not eat the meat of any animal that has been torn by wild animals. Throw it to the dogs.